This is last season's 3rd seed team in Mindfreak versus last season's 4th seed in Oddity. A real dogfight for what could potentially be the 3rd place in the ANZ Pro League.
Yeah, as for operator bans, Dev, do you reckon we might see a Kaid ban once again?
I think it's on the table, you know.
Looking forward towards defense bans, of course.
I mean, that said, you know, Mindfreak were the ones to ban it last time, and they didn't ban the Thatcher this time, which was, you know, paired with that Kaid ban. So I wouldn't be too surprising. As for these 2 attack bans, you know, Capitao and Maverick are both very much staple operator bans for Clubhouse, both of which are very, very powerful. The Capitao can counter a lot of positions with those firebolts, you know, behind blue, bandit tricking in different positions, and the Maverick as well is incredibly versatile across all of the bomb sites, whether it's getting hatches or countering bandit trick.
You know, looking back to the previous map, I really felt like the utility that Oddity were bringing, they really weren't using to its fullest potential. That Capitao really not impactful. They also brought a Lion, and I don't think I saw the E1D popped once.
Yeah, that particular round where they picked the Lion, and that was just a horrendous round on all fronts. You know, we saw a lot of flawless rounds in the previous match. Some went the way of Oddity, but most of them were for Mindfreak.
Do you think these teams are just snowballing rounds? Is that what we think's happening? Like, it was a fairly large amount of flawless rounds.
Look, the rounds where they were flawless to me were Mindfreak. Well, when it was a Mindfreak flawless round, it was they exploited just a significant weakness of Oddity, and then Oddity fell apart around it. With Oddity, it was either that they were very, very organized and Mindfreak, you know, perfectly countered the Mindfreak setup, or it was just that one time when Todd went crazy and had a single player who just asserted himself inside a garage, which counted all the positions of the defenders. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Mindfreak starting on the defense on this map, which is a flip from what we saw on Bank. Previously, it was a 3-3 split at the end of the half, which proved to be not nearly enough defense wins for Oddity to persevere.
Yeah, well, Bank is one of those more defender-sided maps, isn't it?
And I think Clubhouse would be even more so.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on the operator bans, of course. You know, that Capitao off the table certainly, and the Maverick, you know, gives the defensive side a lot more safety. You know, you're not worried about getting flushed out of some of those key positions by those incendiary bolts, or you know, silently opened some of these reinforced walls with that Maverick.
Well, it's definitely going to make, opening the reinforced wall with the Maverick here so much harder. We're going to see it bandit tricked, and, you know, no Maverick to just be able to blow it open in his face. So, you know, they're going to have to take below and nade it out, or time their Thatchers just right. Maybe even the Zofia charges can also deny the bandit trick.
Yeah, to me, the best way to counter this bandit trick is to use the Thatcher to clear out the original bandit batteries, and then put one of the concussions from Zofia through the drone hole. And assuming that you've wasted all the ADSs near that, it should disrupt the animation of the bandit placing that bandit charge.
Oh, they might get it off if he's not paying attention.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Oh, he's going to try it. No, Kings, get out of there. Oh, sorry, Jack.
It works perfectly. Great strategy. First time I ever saw that was from Team Empire, who did it to perfection at the Milan Pro League Finals, and since then it's really been far more widespread. And Mindfreak didn't have any answer for that, so Oddity take that first objective of opening that key wall. Still, that's not the whole story.
Yeah, they've got to play off of it now. You know, you can't just do the non-gunfighting stuff. You need to start getting some picks, and it looks like they're trying to hunt Shaq over here on the Valkyrie. He's in a pretty exposed position, and they are losing a lot of drones to him.
He may well get baited into peeking this position. No, he does,
How
but
does he survive?
No way you should have survived that, but Vast comes out from the main stairs and does finish him off. Still, shouldn't have stayed alive for as long as he did.
Alright, so maybe God Legion played that perfectly, like making sure he stayed safe and letting his opponent shoot him in the back. Sorry, his other teammate shoot him in the back.
It worked out at the end of the day, and I guess that's what matters.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah, all they lost was that one drone that Shaq was allowed to take out. Now that Jack Daddy has rotated his bandit batteries over onto the construction-facing wall, it'll be up to Vast to take those out with a frag grenade. Should be a freebie, there you go. And Jack Daddy should be aware of this. Now he's pinged out the wall. He's aware that Oddity are going to attempt to open it. Not sure if there's any potential for... Oh!
That's a Kaid.
Nice. Perfect. Good job from Cutie. He has another one in his pocket as well. So Vast may well have to use his second frag to destroy that.
Which he will. And then we'll surely see another one followed up, but oh, is Cutie going to be quick enough? No, this is going off.
That key wall, second key wall, I guess, on the objective now opened up, but still has a potential for Mindfreak, because of course, Oddity still have to file into this bomb site and flush out the key positions. Jack Daddy throws out a C4 to no success. He's trapped at the moment in this key position, but Cutie could do some damage from below. Jack Daddy winning this gunfight. This is really what it comes down to for Mindfreak on the objective. And King's jumping in the fray as well. Finally, there's a reply from Oddity, but it doesn't seem to be enough as they're in the numbers disadvantage. Plant forcing down. Just Vinny here. He finds the one kill. He has to lock this plant down. Cutie's the last man standing as C4 doesn't find its target. He has to retake against 2 players.
Yes, Plant successfully down. This round really went lopsided quickly here for Mindfreak and Vast to clean it up in the end. Beautiful stuff from Oddity. I thought they were all done and gone.
When push came to shove, Oddity stepped it up, but it was far too close for comfort. And the fact that those Mindfreak players were allowed to deal so much damage in those positions on site after being droned out is a serious concern. Jack Daddy and Kings both found frags after Oddity had opened up all of the key entry points.
Yeah, well, I think that comes down to the Mindfreak aggression once again. Like, it's not a position you'd expect someone to just peek you from. Like, surely you'd think they'd be losing it every day of the week, but Jack Daddy's got that confidence. He's got that mojo.
And we also saw, once again, a bit of a flashback from what Vinny showed us last week on this very map. You know, when times are dire, he's happy to just step it up, even when it comes down to, you know, pistol frags in the dire seconds of the round.
Yeah, he got that headshot through the wall, didn't he, onto the Maestro of Kings. Interesting that Oddity just didn't really care about what was going on in Garage. They just ignored it.
I think it can be so difficult to take Garage sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even now that the developers have removed those small pixel peaks between the bars at the garage scaffolding or the catwalk, it's still really, really a defensive favored position. Whoever's playing up there has such an advantage, and sometimes it's better to just, as Oddity did, avoid that position.
So we saw Jack Daddy put one bandit battery down here in Garage, right, on that wall that you'd see opened up by a Habana to deny the rotate or even use the Capitao bolt. Okay, no Capitao, but you know, use the Capitao bolt should deny that bandit trick position as well.
Yeah, well, it's really just going to waste an EMP if Oddity decide to do it. And I think that, you know, one bandit battery for one EMP, that's a trade that I would take as the bandit any day of the week.
It sounds like they've already gotten it open, actually. Oh, but here's some aggression,
no!
Shaq! Oh, I can't quite find it.
That timing was so close for Shaq. Vast has the sledge. He could open this jacuzzi wall, but if he hasn't droned it out, okay, he'll drone it out. That'll be a bit safe for him. No, okay. He's going to pre-fire through the wall.
I think the call came out that, oh, he was there.
Yeah, and I think that he's been droned out and decided to leave off, head elsewhere.
Go a fair way away all the way to strip, so he's probably getting ready to go for a run out.
Yeah, in fact, there are quite a few good run-out positions from strip. Is making his way towards at the moment. You can flank anyone who's repelling or playing outside of the garage. He has this very good camera which he can use for information on that run out. He'll just wait for the opportune moment. Can't see anyone at the moment.
Gonna take a peek anyway, but yeah, nothing coming from it. Where's the rest of the Oddity push going down, however? It's presence on the roof. Alright, they haven't even got the wall open just yet. In fact, Jack Daddy... Okay, the Electric Claw is going to take him down.
So it was so easy last time for Oddity to open this wall. My question is, what did Mindfreak do to prevent the same strategy from working again?
I think ADS placement, that's the only thing I can think of the top of my head.
You can counter those ADSs with...
flashbangs, whatever.
Yeah, and the Thatcher, you know?
Well, what is Red doing here? Oh, he's got no more exothermic charges. I was going to say, why is he peeking so aggressively? But he's the Thermite with no exothermic charges.
My God,
he's all the way inside! But Kings is there to clean him up. God Legion and Vast to find their own before Hippie Style can respond. This is just a straight up run into sight YOLO rush. Beautiful shot there from Vast to turn this into a 2-on-2. And wow, Dev, how has this turned out like this?
Just God Legion now in a 1 versus 2. He has some information, but not everything. And he's all out of utility. A beautiful headshot. Cutie goes down. He doesn't know where the final player is, and he is, in fact, on the flank. Oh, but pre-fired through the wall and Shaq cleans him up. Perfectly on the back of that information from the Maestro camera. Shaq steps up, comes back from his flank in perfect timing and salvages that round for Mindfreak.
Yeah, God Legion in that 1v1 there, it really looked like he was caught up in indecision. He was like, he didn't exactly know where the opponent was coming from, so he decides to run around, not sure where to pre-aim, and just goes down as Shaq arrives at the perfect time. But what a round, Dev. It was very explosive there, and I think Oddity, you know, almost salvaged something there.
I mean, it was a good idea. One of the biggest critiques we had of Oddity on map number 1 was the fact that, you know, when things didn't go to plan, they didn't have any kind of, you know, you could call it a YOLO strat. You know, it's what you
Plan
said.
B.
You know, it's like just a contingency where you can be like, all right, let's jump in and try and find some frags, because that's what Mindfreak were doing great. And Oddity gave it a shot that round, and...
But do you need a strat for, all right, let's just jump in and go for it?
Yeah, okay, it's not a strat. It's more just like, you know, the players need to be confident and able to do that, and practice in doing that. You need to have your communications down pat, so you're prepared to do that.
Like, for example, the very first thing they did was they knew exactly where the Kaid was, so that's where they went straight for, and they traded him immediately.
Yeah, that was a good trade setup. Still, the problem was that Oddity only fought for trades. Well, they only were able to fight for trades, and so the numbers dwindled on their side just as they did on the side of Mindfreak. But see a defense now elsewhere, but still a setup inside of Cash. It's the bedroom extended into Cash hold. Something we see fairly commonly. Control over Cash often dictates whether players can play on that south balcony and address those windows, which look directly into the 2 bomb sites. That Cash hold will allow Mindfreak to still have some kind of presence and prevent Oddity from playing so freely on that balcony.
This is one of those bomb sites where we do see an alibi come out fairly often. And in fact, Ibby was spotted all the way down an oil pit. He's going to piece on out of there. He doesn't want any of that. Looks like they've only got 1 wall reinforced into CCTV.
Is that mute jammer? No? Nope. Okay. Oh well. So, the key wall open, and yeah, you're right. There's just the 1 wall into CCTV, or into Cash rather, between Cash and CCTV. That is reinforced. Not sure whether that was a lack of reinforcements, miscommunication, or intentional.
Well, I think they also reinforced one of the walls into Garage as well, so...
Well, reinforcing that wall into Garage prevents the long angle into Cash, but not reinforcing this wall allows this long angle into construction and potentially exposing more positions inside of Cash itself.
Ibby took a lot of punishment from God Legion's peak there, but looks like Oddity are having a lot of trouble clearing this position out. They're waiting for the information to be called. In fact, there it is. Oh. Jack Daddy stuck right in the corner, and there's the peak from God Legion. Catches him at the perfect time, and Cutie, he's going to go on out of there. He's given up connected control fully.
And that was, in fact, a pre-planned strategy, I'm fairly certain. Judging by the reinforcement right next to God Legion right now, that was surely planned to prevent some long angles.
Sto was in here, and they're not even aware. What? There we go. He's popped up from behind some of the plywood there. And he's going to get out scot-free.
Kill onto the thermite as well. I don't think they opened the jacuzzi wall, so that's a bit of a question mark. Still, Todd does have some hard breach available.
I think. Oh, run out.
Oh! Finally does find that head. Bit worried there for a moment for Todd. Cutie's been on fire this game, but he's put to rest in this round.
It's once again Oddity being very one-dimensional, isn't it? They've just been pushing from the east side of the map and taking these heads-up gunfights. They are at the man advantage, of course, but, you know, I feel doing this over and over again, it's not going to last for long. Yeah, there's only 20 seconds on the clock. They have to go fast. They're fully locked out here, Dev.
Oh, on the C4, sorry, the grenade pushes out the position of Kings. And Shaq's still below as well. He can have some impact, but Itby Styles doing the brunt of the work on the bomb site. Where is this plant going down? It's just in the door from Logi. This will have to be a retake for Mindfreak. They still have even numbers, 3-on-3. Good weapon in the hands of Kings, but Oddity now can establish these post-plant positions. Good shot from Todd, cleaning up Itby Style. Oddity further in the advantage. Kings needs to find some serious work with this older. He does pop the head of Vinny. 2-on-2. potentially salvageable.
Vinny getting a bit of ants in his pants, feeling like he has to peek there. Look at vast experience he's holding back, however. He's waiting for the sound. Oh, but I think they've lost this one.
What?
Dev, the Mindfreak retake is going to come off successfully. Plenty of time to stick that counter defuse. And yeah, Mindfreak put another one up on the board. That was Oddities to lose, and they did.
And I was genuinely surprised, especially because Oddity found the first frag in that attempted retake from Mindfreak, which was eventually successful. But you know, that plant went down where Mindfreak had only lost a single player, and the 4 remaining all put some work towards that retake and finding those 3 remaining Oddity players. For me, the MVP of that round really was Ippy Style.
Yeah.
You know, he was allowed to find 1 free kill in construction due to a little bit of sloppy drone work from Oddity.
A little bit of sloppy droning. That's just putting it lightly. Some horrendous droning.
But then the key also was that he killed the first player that peeked into the master bedroom from construction, and then eventually, you know, did a bit of good work elsewhere. Didn't find that kill on the jump pad outside, but he did confirm that information for the rest of his team in that retake.
I do like how Oddity got the plant down, however. They took logistics and opened up from that little closet from logistic into bedroom.
Yeah, it's a much safer position than a lot of the other default plant spots, because one of the only places, or some of the only places you can deny that from are inside of either logistic or inside of master or gym, and you have to be in such a position where to deny that plant spot, you're exposed to so many different angles that are fairly accessible to the defense, to the attackers, like those exterior windows.
Well, taking a look at this operator selection, we've got Vigil coming out once again, Dev. Now we saw Style running it once on Bank.
Yeah, it's a good weapon as well. He got a few frags with it previously. And great thing about Clubhouse for Vigil is just the fact that, you know, the way that radius of the disruption effect when that Vigil that you see on the drones, when you've got that cloaking device enabled, it really does transmit through the floors. So it can be difficult to tell, you know, if you see the Vigil signals, is he on the 3rd floor, is he on the 2nd floor, is he down in the basement?
Yeah. Also like that Valkyrie camera we saw Shaq throw out. Once again, that Mindfreak, you know, intelligence gathering and acting upon that intelligence. It's been so impressive to see. And, oh, come on, default camera Style. Gonna ping him out on it. It's almost like he's saying, oh, you forgot me.
Maybe it wasn't very necessary to ping in that scenario, but oh well.
Looks like he wants to go up this ladder as well, so he's got an impact grenade in his pocket so he can destroy this Claymore.
It's going to make a lot of noise. If anyone from Oddity's nearby, they should be aware.
You know, if only he hadn't pinged on that camera.
He would be able to check. Is this possible, I reckon? Get the impact? He's just really cautious.
Yeah, he's in a great position for it.
Is he going to land it though? That's the question. Meanwhile, Oddity are preparing their take. Just doing some good work upstairs.
Oh.
They're comfortable that they've cleared the roamers and they're just moving now to establish some positions above these hatches.
God Legion, they're back to back, Dev. Here he goes.
Perfect flank opportunity. If he can get control of the stock hatch, this could be a huge blow to the Oddity push.
Oh, he's also seen his first target here, Vast. Oh, quick knife, and now he's got control of that hatch above. God Legion's going to be thinking, wait a minute, how did he get up there?
Only risk there of doing the knife instead of shooting is it means that... Oh, what? Surely not. Oh my god, 2 knives for Ippy Style. An absolute ninja. He finds 3 kills, a 4K for Ippy Style. Just 1 player left. It's Todd. 1 versus 1 now.
How did this get to a 1v1?
Oddity made an execute onto the bomb site, and Ippy Style was the only one to have any impact on that. Forcing this plant down. He has tons of time if he wants to fake it, but he's not going to do so. He has a lot of information on Shaq as well. Ooh. And he finds the shot. I can't believe it. After what a successful flank and roam from Ippy Style, Todd finds 3 kills and clutches the round.
Yeah, 4 kills for Ippy Style. That's
tilter. Not enough.
Yeah, that's a tilter, isn't it? You got to ace if you want to win.
Can you imagine, like, that would have been so clip-worthy if he had... Yeah, he got this knife. Nice. And then he jumps down, ninjas around it, God Legion here finds a second knife. He gets 2 kills as he enters church. Like, what? That's unheard of. And then his team still loses the round.
If only he'd seen Todd at the back of the bomb site there, I think that would have been an ace and, you know, a round one just off of the effort from Ippy style. But that's not the storyline here. It was Todd winning the clutch in the end and putting Oddity up another one. But once again, it's Oddity winning rounds that they shouldn't. Now, this feels like our analysis at the start of the night was Mindfreak could be winning rounds off of individual plays, but now it's Oddity, isn't it?
Well, Oddity are familiar with winning rounds that they shouldn't on this map, at least last week. You know, every time they play Sinister, that seems to be the case.
Either way, back to church here for Mindfreak.
Yeah, reattempting that same bomb site. And look, the thing about that flank from Ippy style is, you know, you might make it work once, but it's just never going to work the second time. So he's not going to bring the impact grenades this time. He won't be able to remove that Claymore as he did previously.
Is that another massive hole in Oddity's plans there?
What, just a single Claymore?
Yeah, well, just the fact that, you know, that their droning was kind of sloppy, that they didn't actually check oil pit. They just assumed it was clear.
It's true, but also, you know, you can't drone out a vigil all the time. You know, that's his ability is to counter those drones. So even if you do drone him out, you'll see him disappear as he clicks that vigil thing, and then it could be anywhere.
Well, round number 5. We are even across the board. You know, Dev, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another 3-3 half. In fact, oh, Shaq, he was very close to Vast there. They're where he's gone all the way to the top. I think they might, as their drones are going to start hunting him up here.
No, roams on Clubhouse don't typically last very long.
I think he might have got away scot-free here, Shaq.
Making his way towards Garage now. He's in such a good position. And if he has information relayed to his by his teammates from the Valk cams, he could do some damage.
This is, you know, classic Oddity. They get caught up in, you know, focusing on doing this strat in a well-oiled manner that they forget something like this. Yeah, he's in such a great position, Shaq.
Guess we'll have to wait until the later points of the round. Oh, or not. Never mind. Shaq will just find 2 kills. There you go. He doesn't even need to wait to the later points of the round. He gets back to site. That is such a success. He finds 2 key players for Oddity. And what does it cost? Absolutely nothing. He's back on site. 5-man anchor defense.
Well, Todd, Red, and Vinny fighting from behind here, 3-on-5. You know, this doesn't look like a great position, Dev.
Minute to work with. We've seen more unbelievable things happen, but flushing out some of these key positions will be difficult. Shaq now he's gone back to site. He's in a great spot. He has his C4 as well for this vertical play. A lot of information for the rest of Mindfreak as well.
It really seems like Mindfreak have been 2 steps ahead this whole game, Dev.
40 seconds left, and Oddity's still just trying to work away slowly. Todd, who clutched the previous round, has made an entrance into Dirt, and he finds that first kill onto the Legion player. Cleared all of Dirt now. It's difficult to progress from this position, though, because he has these crossfires to deal with. Still has his 3 stuns, and this will be what's necessary for Oddity. There you go, they're taking out that key player in the armory as well. Oh, and another one! A 3 versus 5 now turned into a 3 versus 2. The Oddity player is forcing this diffuser down. Todd's in a great position. He finds another one. That's 2 kills on the round. He finds the last player, but he gets taken out. Just the one left, and Ippy Styles finished off by Vinny. I can't believe that went the way of Oddity. Again.
So, I think here's the recipe for success for Oddity. Be at a disadvantage.
A significant disadvantage.
And just win the round. It's a bit crazy to see, isn't it?
I mean, that's the second time we've seen a really notable individual play from Mindfreak. Everything works perfectly for them, but except for the, you know, the thing after that.
The closing the round.
Yeah, you get this significant advantage, and then it just doesn't function as it should.
So, you know, we've only have, you know, the last round of the half, but from what you've seen from this half, defender sided, are we thinking Oddity have got a shoe in the door here, Dev?
Yeah, definitely. Look, Mindfreak seemed to only show up one at a time. You know, Cutie that round, it was all him. He made a great flank. He got back to start. Hippie style. You know, you take away that 4K he made that amounted to nothing on the round, and he's still quite a fair way ahead of the rest of his team.
Yeah, and Cutie, he had such a massive game. He's only going 1, 4, and 5, so he's putting up a lot of assists, but he's not finding as many kills as what he was on Bank, that's for sure.
That's right. I think I said Cutie before when I was talking about the Valkyrie player. It was actually Shaq in that previous round. I think I said Cutie. Did I?
I don't think he did.
Okay, good. Well, I was right.
Well, it's not like I'll listen to you on the...
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That's
kidding.
All right, so it looks like another attempt at this cash defense. It's been pretty good so far. It's the last round on the defensive half for Mindfreak. And they won it once, they lost it once.
Yeah, both times convincing to either team, wasn't it? Actually.
Yeah, the Oddity one, it was a bit of a desperate attempt that...
Yeah, both times it was a bit of a rush into the bomb sites. I was thinking of the first map. So
yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this. All right, a frag grenade, hey?
Oops.
Uh-oh, that ain't good. That's not great for Vast. I really want to see this work. Okay,
yep.
so he's just trying to take out the ADS. You know, surely you've got flashbangs. Does anyone have flashbangs? Hibana? Come on, Hibana.
Surely you can just use your lifeline stun and the impact.
Explosive, yeah. That said, you know, now that we've wasted both our frags, we need something to get rid of the Maestro cameras. Just tell it, it'll take 2 seconds. Rotate over, throw your flashbangs in, or use an EMP grenade to get rid of that ADS. Like, surely this can't stall out Oddity. It's such an easy solution for that problem.
It's like they're struggling with the 1+1 question.
Yeah, and of course, if you don't do that, you can't do question number 2.
Well, looks like Red's going to completely rotate anyway.
Wow.
So, alright, let's take Connector as the plan.
I'm just a bit disappointed. You know, there's a lot of potential wasted by not opening that main wall, at least with one hole from a Hibana pellet or something.
Alright, let's see what the plan is. Shaq's taken some damage. In fact, he is going to go down to God Legion. That's a bit of a fluffed Thatcher grenade, but it does make the distance. We're going to hear the thermite charge go off. Was that Electro Claw we heard go to the wall? Yes.
Yep. Wow. Thermite charge down, I assume.
Yeah, well, they can just, you know, if Jack Daddy's not going to trick it, this should be able to go off on time. Yep. Before the Electro Claw has been activated. So Oddity now have an avenue on into the bomb site, Dev, but it's very close quarters.
Yeah, and these players playing inside a CCTV don't really have any mobility restricted because that main wall is intact. 45 seconds left, and Oddity previously made a bit of a blitz into the bomb site. Not sure it'll work the same way as it did in the past. Jack Daddy has a C4. He can easily throw into cash to prevent these positions, but Kings goes down for the first one. Todd as well, opening up onto Ippy style. Jack Daddy eventually does fight back at least somewhat, but he's just the last one standing against 4 players. Oof. And as he stands up, Vinny slaps him right on back down. A bit of a questionable start to the round from Oddity, but they close it out and get their name in the half.
It's like they decided, no, it's too difficult, guys. We're going to do something more difficult.
But hey, you know, I guess never question the results, right?
Yeah.
4-2, that's a...
on attack, yeah.
Yeah. I reckon we could be looking at these two teams trading a map each.
Well, there's still plenty of Siege to play here, Dev, as we are going to be defending Church here first for Oddity. Once again, Style on that IQ. He was such a great IQ. No, okay, never mind. He's changed over to the Ash.
Yeah, well, he's copped over 10 frags. That's how you earn your Ash license, right?
Yeah.
That's what they taught me. I don't know.
You know, I do like that.
10 frags equals your Ash license.
Gets pulled over, sir. I'm gonna need to see your Ash license.
Shows presses tab. You know. I like that. All right, so
what's the thought process in bringing Ash? Is it just for the frag capability here, do you reckon?
Sometimes, in my opinion, you know, you got a player like Ippy Style. I think I actually asked him this one time. I had him on the Talk of Siege, and I think I asked him why do you pick Ash? And he just, I might be mixing things up. It might have been Specco, it might have been someone else. I can't remember. He said that, you know, Ash is the mobility and the versatility of the operator, plus a good gun and stuns, you know, there's so much that you can do. And, you know, he's bringing the ACOG, the G36, so it's just the versatility. You know, Ash will find frags that operators will not. Other operators will not. It happens.
Ooh. So saw that Jaeger of Todd going to the top catwalk of Garage there, but, you know, his drone was spotted on out. So they know that there's a roamer up above that they're going to have to contend with.
And it looks like Todd may well just be heading back to site.
Just laying a bit of a false trail.
Yep. And look, Jackal's not banned, but also not picked here. No smokes from Mindfreak. But as you mentioned, that Ash in tandem with the Zafia, and I guess the Thatcher to some extent, will be some great utility to counter the, some of these key utilities like the Maestro counters.
I really think bringing an operator like a Jackal, so he has the pocket shotgun or the Buck, would have been great for this bomber site.
Yeah, but we do have an excess of soft breach elsewhere, so you could utilize that for that vertical play.
No frags though either.
I love this. Ippy style is specifically peeking that one position that we saw God Legion get a 2K from last week, underneath the stairs. Not going to let that one slip by him.
I know we've droned it, guys, but we just need to be sure.
You never know with God Legion.
Teleports behind you.
All right, having a look into blue now. There's a lot of information gathered by Mindfreak, and they also salvaged the drone. No Capitao picked in lieu of Mindfreak banning that out, which means the position behind that unit inside of blue will be a lot safer. Especially with an ADS to protect from grenades.
So what's the plan from Mindfreak? It looks like they're going to try and pinch from blue and from Moto.
Yeah, maybe the church wall opened up by Shaq if he can get down there. Kings has removed the bandit batteries. I'm not sure whether Vinny has one in his pocket and is prepared to trick it.
So yeah, just completely ignoring armory. So yeah, there does go that last, look at those last two. C4 already. Is there still Thatcher grenades? Surely there is.
I'd expect so. And he doesn't have
two
any more in
left.
his pocket. So yeah, Thatcher's going to win this utility famine.
Yeah, there they go.
There you go.
Oh, but this might, deny it here, Dev. C4 over.
Oh.
See you later.
Yes!
No.
No? No. There you go.
That's an SMG11, but I think he got the thermite charge.
No, in fact, the wall was completely open. A little bit too late or a little bit too far, I think, but he did get the down onto King. So, all right, Todd going for an aggressive play, gets taken out, but Vinny does do some more work for his team. And now trying to default back further away from Church. Still, Jack Daddy has a great angle, and he'll capitalize on that to take out Vast. His team numbers equality at the moment, and Cutie decides to get aggressive to protect this planter. Red getting into the bomb site. No, a potato from Cutie. He goes down. Just two players left for Mindfreak, but Jack Daddy's doing even more work. Plant down and stepping up here. He's the last man standing, and Vinny, a perfect round for the Bandit. Excellent job.
He's going to revive first.
Why not, Got to take care of your brothers in arms. There you go.
This is once again another very strange round that it feels like Oddity should not have won, but managed to bring it back to win anyway.
The thing with Oddity is they seem to just, in that scenario, they were much tighter than Mindfreak. All of the engagements, the timing on these engagements between the different players, the chemistry was there so that it was so hard to fight back from Mindfreak.
I don't know. I think this is a game where Mindfreak are playing better, but Oddity are winning.
You reckon? I definitely think that it feels not like a 5-2. This looks like a 3-3-4-4. I know that we've got an odd number of rounds, but this is neck and neck. To me at least, and that score does not reflect that. One more round on the board, and Oddity are finally going to get themselves a point on the board for this week. But Mindfreak have proved in map number 1 that they are certainly a force to be reckoned with, and I guess Oddity are just trying to redeem themselves for that performance.
This time we're going to see Style do the switch back from Ash to IQ. So it looks like he's happy taking either operator, but we are going to defend Jim this time. Interesting to see that Cash CCTV is not their second choice here, Dev.
No, you typically would see Cash even as a first, and then Church as a second, Bed as the final. But we've seen a bit of all around the world here. We've seen a lot of successful bedroom, especially here in ANZ, more so than other regions. So, hey, Look, I wouldn't doubt Oddity yet, and I guess a lot of teams put a lot of effort into practicing that cash attack.
Well, the thing is, Dev, it was Mindfreak went CCTV Jim themselves, so both teams have favoured Jim as their second choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's consistent among, other teams in the region all the time. I don't think we've seen enough play days in this current season to really make a judgment on that. But in my experience, ANZ does seem to prefer this bedroom bomb site, at least over a lot of other teams.
Yeah, well, they do place a lot of stock in holding down this cash room, don't they?
Yeah, and looks like they've also opened up some holes in the floor to prevent that on-the-floor thermite charge that will open up the bottom half of that reinforced wall.
Yeah,
they also have some information. It's a good Valkyrie camera.
So they've got the Kaid in here. Do they have Bandit? No Bandit on the board. That's a C4. That's going to find style. There goes the IQ. And in fact, Jack Daddy's also been downed as a result.
Also the key fragger from Mindfreak. Jack Dad can pick himself up, withstand from that damage, but no, okay, he's not. Oh no! He should have picked himself up because that timing worked against him, and Vast capitalized with that C4 of his own. No impact grenades on Kaid is very rare, but oh my god, we just saw it. The Electroclaw tricked that wall as well.
Yeah, beautiful timing there from Vast, and Mindfreak have got no answers here. Here comes another Thatcher grenade, so this is not going to be able to trick. So Vast is going to have to peek on out. He's going to go down to Kings, and this wall's going to be opened on up.
It's a fair trade, though, for Oddity. They've taken a lot of damage on God. Still, I think they're going to be sitting pretty inside of bedroom and logistic. Mindfreak don't really have the numbers to execute how you would typically want to. Now they have cash control. It might be difficult to hold on to it.
Yeah, well, the drones are going to come on out, see what they can see, pass that information over, see if they can find another a weakness in the defense here from Oddity, which they seem to be able to exploit so much on Bank. It is only a one-man deficit if you think of it like that, Dev.
Yeah, they're not too far off, but the problem is just this bomb site becomes so unwieldy. If you have to have one guy planting, one guy watching for the flanks, and one guy watching planter, gets a bit too much. Now though, Oddity still holding steady, and I think that this is the right move. They've just wasted 30 seconds by not peeking, not giving Mindfreak anything to latch onto. So they attempt to push in through logistic. Kings takes a lot of damage, God Legion as well, but he still gets in the advantage as Mindfreak haven't taken that control just yet. Jack wants to find this entry, but Oddity are giving Mindfreak nothing. 10 seconds to go, and push is coming to shove. This C4 could make the difference. It's a faked plant, but the C4 gets shot. And there you go, the final flurry of kills, and Oddity get themselves onto match point.
That was, I have no idea how that even ended. Who killed the planter? Was it someone from Jim?
Yeah, let's say that. Sure, probably. Bit hard to tell, isn't it, the way we were looking at it?
Yeah, that's just, everything just happened too quickly there. But in the end, Oddity have come out and, I have to agree with you. It doesn't feel like Mindfreak have only won 2 rounds.
Yeah, and they haven't won a single attack just yet as well. Mind you, Oddity left their attacking half with a 4-2 lead, which means that they've only had to defend 2 bomb sites. So now we'll finally get to see cash CCTV for the first time. And it looks like Mindfreak will bring the Montaigne, maybe a garage take. This could upset what, the Oddity momentum that we've had moving forward for the last, 6 rounds? 5 rounds.
4 rounds?
Round 8, round 7, round 6, round 5, round 4. 5 rounds.
Well, maybe I was tracking wrong, Dev.
One of us was.
I'll trust you on that. As I was saying, the Mindfreak pick of the Monty really makes me think that, yes, it is going to be a garage take. They're going to try and get the Monty up on the catwalk here.
Still, that Legion in play will be a literal thorn in the Montaigne side, but
in his foot.
In his foot, at least. Well, no smoke, though, and we've seen smoke also be a really great counter to that Montaigne, especially on this specific bomb site. We've seen some great strategies from Airwolf from Southeast Asia Pro League. really do some good work. And another key thing here is that that garage has been fully reinforced, that wall between garage and CCTV, because if it was soft, then you could potentially see Mindfreak use some soft breach on that wall when the Montaigne gets up, and, you know, I guess we'll have to see how it pans out. Don't want to predict too much before the action phase commences.
Yeah, let's let the pieces lay where they lie. Oof. Looks like that's a lot of damage down. Vinny and God Legion, both rather low.
Looks like that Monte... Is that the west side, maybe? No? Okay. Bit of a rotate for the Monte now up in the east. It's Cutie as well. Shaped up well on map number 1, as you mentioned earlier, but hasn't had the fragging impact this time. Put him on a supportive role, the Monte, and see what he can do. But at the moment, for Mindfreak, the focus is just getting this key wall open. Is the Bandit ready for it? He has the correct wall, and there you go. It's a nice, cheeky, easy Bandit trick.
Is there no follow-up from the Zofia, perhaps? Like,
is that just something that Mindfreak don't do? Oh, no, I think we just saw that the Zofia's out. Anyhow, there's the Hibana pellets tricked. Yeah, okay, so there's both of the concussions have already been used by Jack Dad. I'm not quite sure where, but not really anything left for Mindfreak to do to counter this Bandit trick then.
Yeah, well, it looks like that Monty has made his way into garage. No one really trying to deny that. In fact, he's practically at the top of stairwell. In fact, oh, Vinny can't quite land his shots.
And that was exactly what it took to distract the Bandit to, I believe, detonate some of those X-Cars. No, that must have been elsewhere, because still we have this main wall intact, and the thermite charge being saved for this key wall into garage, into CCTV. That's such a big impact, and here we have also an entry. Jack Daddy in the bomb site, prone. 4 versus 4. Things are looking up for Mindfreak.
Yeah, that's classic Mindfreak there. We see Jack Daddy gain an entrance to the bomb site, and he's just going to react right off of it. He's going to jump right in behind it. Kings will find Todd elsewhere as well. In fact, Jack's got himself out of there. I think he was getting a bit too risky in there.
You can see Oddity just trying to peek for information at the moment. They don't have everything that they feel that they want in terms of knowledge on this bomb site. Still a player below, and he takes out one of the flank watch. God Legion potentially with a C4 in pocket as well. Could deal some serious damage in this late round, but Jack Daddy's ready to pinch him with Kings as well in lounge. Where is the Valkyrie? They don't know.
They've completely stalled out here thanks to God Legion's flank, but they have to go for the execute, and execute they will. Kings will find God Legions. That's that flank watch save. Plant going down, almost confirmed. Oh, Red's going to get caught sprinting, leaving it all up to Vast in the 1-on-3. He sees the first one through the window into garage. He knows the other one's a Monty, but where is Kings? Last information was downstairs. In fact, he is still there. He's going to hit the rappel on up, and Kings to take him on out. Mindfreak win their first attacking round.
Get the name on the board, but they'll have to attack one of Oddity's stronger bomb sites if they want to stay in this round for much longer, this game for much longer. I was going to say, you know, that Oddity, you know, in that 1 versus 2 position, 1 versus 3 position, when it comes down to it, in a post-plant situation on the attacking side, the Montaigne is, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, the best operator you could possibly have.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they just have to sit in the corner, and it's, you know, pretty much GG from there.
Except when the last operator on the defense is a Legion. Because he just throws a goo mine down, the Monty has no choice but to pull it out of his foot or take a fight. Just an interesting tad bit. I was hoping we would get to that position because I wanted to see that from Fast, but hey, we're heading downstairs now.
Looks like they're still going to stick with the Monty here, Mindfreak.
Yeah, and I think it's a great operator to fall back on if everything else is failing. You know, you can always just do some simple strategies that revolve around this Montaigne. You know, you take that extra time, just get that extra information. It's a really safe way to get information. Push your Montaigne in forward. You know, revolve a strategy around that. The main issue is it does telegraph your strategy to the enemy team, so if they're prepared, they can lock you out. And now that we have the smoke on the defensive side, I think that, you know, there's just another thing that can really impact that Montaigne. But, you know, Mindfreak salvaged that previous round, even after things weren't looking so great for them. So I wouldn't count them out here on the downstairs bomb side either.
Yeah, well, Ippy style on the Hibana this time, so he's taken over Cutie's role then, and Cutie's moved over to that, you know, that blunt force of Monty. Going to make his way into a bomb site with very little opponents to contest him.
Drones activated.
what, just a smoke is probably the #1 counter, and the Legion,
Yeah,
of course.
smoke and Legion. I guess it depends on where they're pushing from as to be what's the most effective counter. Still, speaking of counters, we didn't see a very effective counter from Vinny on the previous round, trying to destroy the thermite charge on the church wall using a C4. And potentially if we saw smokes, impact grenades from Oddity, they could do that same role much more effectively.
Yeah, Todd playing on the stairs. I think he was droned out, and Kings was pre-firing him, but he's just going to hold this very soft angle here.
Needle set.
Yeah, Todd's being kept at bay on the stairs, but elsewhere we still have this all-around presence from Oddity. Red does have those impact grenades I mentioned earlier, and Todd somehow finds that kill. Takes a lot of damage for it, but it's well worth it for the frag onto Jack Dad. A lot of utility down, and also a key fragger, as we've seen the previous attack onto this bomb site. Jack Daddy was the key player for the attacking side.
Yeah, well, where do Mindfreak go from here? Surely they've, yeah, we heard the Habana charges go off, so they're going to be opening up these hatches any moment now. When they just place it just right.
Oh no,
Is that not,
that's not enough Hibana pellets to destroy the hatch. You need 4. There you go, that's a real shame, isn't it? Look at that. Ippy Style has some angles, but it's not enough, and he's completely out of X-Kairos now, and that wasn't even due to the impact trick or anything. That was just due to the way he placed them.
He was just trying to be a bit too clever there. We see Vinny C4 prepped in that exact same position this time, Dev. Here we go. Ooh.
Oh my god, 2 big kills for Vinny. And that's so much utility down. You know, that they're just leaving the 2 hard breaches, the Thermite and the Hibana remaining. The Monty's down as well, so none of that brute force, the immovable object. Just these 2 players left to clutch against 5.
Yeah, 2v5, 40 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to dry peek into the site. Here comes the Habana.
Oh no, asleep at the wheel?
Todd's going to find that frag. So just Shaq with 50 HP to his name. 30 seconds on the clock. Dev, I think this might be over. I think it might be indeed. He's going to find one. You know, this would be the clutch of the century if he pulls this one off. Jumps on into Armory. I think he might time out at this rate. He doesn't even have the diffuser. Down even lower. Surely he's dead now. Todd from the church will find him and win the map for Oddity. 1-1 then, Dev.
There you go. That's not a result that I had expected, but at the end of the rounds and at the end of this series, both of these teams come out with 3 points on account of winning 1 map apiece. A 7-4 on Bank.
I like their coordinator skins. I feel like I might just put that in before it moves
nice.
off of it.
That's nice. That's the beta skin, right?
Yeah, the beta skin. So, you know, if
I'm not OG enough to have that skin.
So yeah, they're all showing their their street cred.
Yeah, I like that.
On display for everyone.
So there you go. You know, Oddity Esports, not a team that's been in the pro league for every season, not a team that's been in the competitive scene for as long, but all of these players, you know, have some serious pedigree.
Yeah, they definitely do. So 7-3. Yep.
7-3. Yeah. So 7-4 on Bank, and that was towards Mindfreak. And I thought, you know, well, 7-4, that's almost as close as you can get with a win. You know, you can get a draw, you can get 7-5, and then 7-4.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's still 7-4 to me just doesn't sound close, but it is kind of close. You know, it's almost as close as you can get without it being a draw. So
sure, Dev.
Whereas 7-3, like that to me does sound a bit more convincing.
Yeah, would have to agree with you. You know, we spoke about it like through the map several times. Oddity just winning rounds that they shouldn't. You know, Mindfreak, you know, losing from some very winnable positions, just not able to close out rounds, and you know that's how you end up with a 7-3 scoreline at the end.
So what are the key takeaways here? You know, you mentioned that Oddity were winning rounds they shouldn't have. Was that on Oddity or was it on Mindfreak?
I think it's more of the Oddity. A lot of the times would throw caution to the wind, which is what they weren't doing on Bank,
and so that's what they need to do, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and so you know they were at a position where they're at a disadvantage, and they're like, all right, as I said, YOLO rush it. Like it's what they did, and it's, you know, worked quite a bit. Like maybe that's, you know, Mindfreak's strategy, you know, biting right back at what was happening to them.
And there were a couple of moments on Mindfreak's attacks where I thought that their kind of keep it simple attitude in terms of the strategy, you know, bit them in the bud. For example, you know, when it came to Oddity trying to take care of that bandit trick on the church wall, they had a really simple strategy with the severe charges.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Mindfreak, I guess, tried the same thing, but on their attacks, they didn't have as much success.
Yeah, well, just needed to take out the ADSs, we'd assume. Like, I'm
Yeah.
guessing what happened is when they first went for the first Thermite, Jack Daddy launched both of his through, and they both were caught by an ADS, so...
Just don't understand, like, you can account for that. Both of the teams are bringing flashbangs on a player that you could have easily tossed on through there.
Yeah, well, heat of the moment, like, you know, maybe it's a mid-round adaptation they're making or a mid-game adaptation, like... That being said, like, we kind of expect them to be 100% ready for that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to clarify this, Monkey. At the end, before that round, before that game, you had put your money on Mindfreak for Map 2?
Look, I'm good at predicting maps. I'm just not good at predicting scores, okay?
All right, all right. So, yeah, I mean, I was surprised. We were both a bit surprised going into the first one that the community vote was so skewed towards Mindfreak. More of a household name because they've had a lot of rosters in ANZ, but, you know, maybe a less true to form recently compared to Oddity, who've been on the rise. Yeah. But, you know, trading 1-1, that's, if you told me that before tonight, that, oh, you know, Mindfreak and Oddity will win a map apiece, I'd say, okay, yes, I can see that happening.
Yeah, and I'd have to 100% agree with you. Like, 3rd and 4th last season, like, you think Oddity's on the rise and Mindfreak, well, you know, cruising steady, so it could have gone either way, and, you know, it did.
That's right. Well, we get to have a chat to some of these teams now, so let's toss it over to Raven from Oddity, who is their coach. Hello, Raven. Nice to see you again.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
I just want to say, you know, good job on the win, but it wasn't without a lot of difficulties, especially coming from map number 1. So on Bank, you know, a lot of people would have expected that maybe Oddity had performed a bit better, especially because you'd done some good performances on Bank recently. What was it that really threw you off with the Mindfreak attacks?
It wasn't even so much that we were thrown off. I think we just started really rough, like failed to take off, basically. We really expected that we would nail most of our defenses. There was definitely evidence that they'd like try to counter us, and we felt we could adapt to that fine. That's what we expected, but things just felt like a struggle, and it kind of continued for the rest of the map.
Yeah, well, on Bank, I really felt like it was your attacks where you struggled the most, and I think it was a lot of the aggression we were seeing from Mindfreak. Like, do you guys feel like you're unprepared for a lot of aggression that they were bringing?
I wouldn't necessarily say unprepared, but I think just because of the struggles we'd had with the first half and the way that carried through with the mentality into the second half, that aggression really just exposed that. And like we were misdroning a lot of things, and yeah, just really nailed our attacks, and we couldn't do anything different.
So since we have you, you know, you are the coach for the roster. I thought it'd be interesting to hear about how you operate within the team, especially, you know, after, you know, you're playing your Pro League match or you're watching your team play your Pro League match, communicating with them in terms of live updates, in terms of trying to help them do the best that they can, and you lose the first map. What is the pep talk between map number 1 and map number 2 that really can turn around, you know, a 7-4 loss on one map to a 7-3 victory on the next?
I think a really common thing is that players will overanalyze how they lost a map, and when it's this kind of format, I feel that it's best to just completely forget about the first map. Really acknowledge the stuff that you messed up. So like obviously drones and a bit of the mentality were our issues. We acknowledged that, and we were just like, you know what, we have to step it up. We've got a whole map to still win. Let's just make sure we get the points on that. And then tonight or tomorrow, we can worry about the lost map.
All right, so I've got kind of a question in 2 parts, right? Like obviously on Bank, downstairs, your plant denial strat heavily revolved around those impact grenades. Was this something you guys thought up or you've seen from somewhere else, or like where'd it come from, Raven?
It just kind of came up. Like we were just kind of messing around, and we were thinking about different ways to deny plant on that basement defense. And obviously it's common to bring like all the C4s and the smokes, but we really like to play around with our operators a lot. Our lineups change, and it depends on the kind of defense we want. And so to enable us to play like a more flex operator, bringing the impacts of smoke allows us to have that extra denial, but without bringing the extra operator.
Right, and also that first round, that was obviously the plan, but what happened? They got the plant down with no attempted denial from you guys.
Yeah, we didn't realize that the impacts didn't really hit the mark. And so the call was that they were still planting or potentially down. It was a bit vague. Like I said, a lot of our comms were a bit messy with that first map. So we weren't too sure. And then all of a sudden the plant was down, and obviously the retake at that stage is quite difficult.
So I guess to wrap things up here, we talked to you previously, and I know for a fact that you were feeling pretty confident going into this season. A lot of matches coming up at the moment, and you guys have been on the rise. But recently on the weekend, in the Six Masters, you lost out to Acme, and now you've just dropped a map here. But still looking good overall. How are you feeling your trajectory in this season now that you've played a few more matches?
Still positive. I mean, like, obviously, we didn't have a whole lot of wins last season. We had heaps of draws, and we now already have more wins than we do draws. More wins than we did last season as well. So, look, everything's still going well for us. We just need to get over some of these, I wouldn't even call them teething issues. It's just one slight hurdle about these slow starts or just not playing warm straight away. And with Six Masters, obviously, I was playing. I don't think I did so bad, but obviously Todd's a big role to fill, and one big thing was his shot calling is massive, so that really affected us.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Raven. Congratulations on the win, bittersweet, but good nonetheless, and good luck to the team for your matches on the weekend.
Thanks very much, appreciate it.
That was good. Yeah, I actually think that we've got some serious insight into how the mechanics of the team actually works.
I really I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I really just focused on that first map where they lost a lot. Yeah. So I felt I was going to...
Well, I mean, what are you going to ask about a map where a team wins?
Yeah, especially so dominantly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you learn a lot. And, that's the thing that teams and players say is you're not scrimming to win, you're scrimming to lose so that you can learn. And that's why it's so interesting to talk about these maps that they lost. On that bank downstairs defense, for example, your questions really prompted some interesting answers.
Yeah, well, winner's mentality, isn't it? When you lose, you think, what did I do wrong and how can I do it better, rather than, have a little bit of a hissy fit over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like there was... the thing that really stuck out to me about what Raven said was that players can overanalyze why they lose a map. And that wasn't necessarily something that I thought of necessarily. He said that going in between map number 1 and map number 2, it's not about saying, oh, this is why you lost, and that's why you lost, and that's why you lost. It's just, guys, get your comms clear. You know what you're doing. Like, you know how good you are as a team. You know you can beat these guys if you, step it up and play up to your standard. So just, work on your communication and, clear up the comms and move from there.
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to how much adaptation can they make between a map. I think, they got to say, all right, we've got our strategy. We don't really want to change it up too much just yet or whatever. Like, it's, all right, forget about map 1. Let's go to map 2 with the, complete fresh slate.
So I guess I kind of am interested to hear your thoughts now that I want to ask the same kind of question I asked Raven. Is like, we've seen now a little bit more from Oddity. Where are we feeling that they're going to shape up across the rest of the season? Keeping in mind that we have... Okay, I'll let you answer that first because I've got some other stuff I want to mention after it.
So yeah, you can follow that one up, but I really feel like, it's very clear that, it's something I was saying before. Like, I feel like all the teams in the region have gotten better, but no one's really overtaken each other. And, that was the 3rd and 4th teams from last season battling it out, and it went 1 apiece. So I think they're going to be in that maybe 3rd, 4th, potentially 2nd if Auglis, don't really show up this season, especially having to bring in Neofighter.
Well, let's have a look at how Mindfreak play. Let's have a chat to one of their guys in this interview. Hey, It Be Style. Nice to chat to you again. And congratulations on your victory. I know it is a bit bittersweet, though. How'd you feel after those set of matches?
Map 1, awesome. Map 2, not so great.
Very nice and concise. Now, I was interested in your bans on map 1. The Kaid and Thatcher. What's the thought process there? Like, we theory crafted a bit, but, I want to hear it from you.
Kaid and Thatcher, well, it's a pain if they Kaid trick, and it's a pain to Kaid when they have a Thatcher.
Fair enough. So there was there's a bit of an interplay between those two. Moving on, this is something that we talked a little bit about on the Clubhouse game. Monkey was asking me why I thought you were bringing Ash.
That was my question.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm going to steal it anyway. So the Ash pick, switching away from the IQ, can you give us a bit of insight there?
I kind of just asked, do we want more frag power? And my team said, go for it. And I tried, and it didn't really work for my team, I suppose.
Right. You had a pretty massive round on Clubhouse where you got 4K on the flank but weren't able to clutch it out. Your Shaq wasn't able to clutch it out. Was that a bit tilting, was it?
Yeah, that one hit me mentally a little. But it's like it's one of those things. It's like one of those maps where we lost because say 3/5 of the team just lost gunfights here and there, and that adds up over the duration of the game.
Yeah, it really felt like they won a lot of rounds from unwinnable positions, like clutches, like 3v5s and such, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was more like when they just pushed in rush side, it just caught people off guard a few times, and yeah, it's not much you can do about it.
So I guess my question is, your expectations going into this matchup. Oddity, you've seen them play a lot recently. There are a lot of VODs to go off. You've seen them lose to Acme on the weekend, be it with Raven playing instead of Todd. What was your expectation going into this match, and how did you feel that, was it accurate to the realization in the games?
No, map 1 we were pretty confident we were going to win, but then after we started losing a couple of rounds of map 2, the mental state kind of slid off a little bit, but that happens every now and again.
So is it to do with the maps themselves? Like you knew that you were going to be good on Bank because Bank is strong for you? Or was it more that you're feeling good on Bank and then when the mental state started to deteriorate, that had more of an impact than, say, your just proficiency on the map itself?
Yeah, I'd say the mental had more of an effect than our confidence on the actual map.
Yeah, well, I just want to say, Mindfreak has had a few rosters in ANZ, and you guys have really been doing justice to the name, I think, so far, especially with that win on map number 1. So anything you guys want to say to your fans? I know you guys had a lot of support in the community vote, very vastly in your favor. So anything you want to say to all the Mindfreak fans, especially international viewers?
Boys, pretend game 1 was the only game that got played tonight. You'll see more of it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, mate.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah, that was good. I thought it was the funny thing for me is I stole your question, but
that's right. I'm gonna steal yours next game.
Good.
Just watch.
The Ash situation went like, hey, do we need some more fragging player? Hey, can I play Ash? Yeah, sure. That was it.
Well, yeah, like very kind of puggish style there. Then, or like, I know like they can see what they want to do and how they want to work it, but yeah, I like how they play with not flying their kite on a stick; they're flying on a string.
Yeah, well, thank you very much to Raven and Ippy Style and the respective teams. Make sure you go and follow all those guys on Twitter and make sure that you go to our Twitter as well and check out the community vote because we have another match coming up. It's Fnatic versus Power Plays, a big match, obviously with a very big team in Fnatic. Power Plays also been doing really well, so get your word in on who you think is going to win. I can already kind of predict what that community vote is going to look like, but hey, if you're in for underdog stories, make sure you get your vote in there as well.
Yeah, if you can predict power plays and it's right, I think, you can get some pretty good bragging rights there.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying earlier today to someone else. If you predict the underdogs and you're wrong, no one really cares. But if you predict them and you're right, then everybody cares. So that's the match coming up very shortly. Don't go anywhere because Fnatic versus Power Plays is coming right after this break.